There is no one more snake, there's only one snake.
Why is a snake important? Snake is not a creature, snake is a certain dimension of perception. Why I said there are no many snakes is, this is one creature where its life energy is not individual, it is universal to its whole clan, that it doesn't have a being, it doesn't have an individual being, it has a connected being. This does not mean other beings are not connected, that's not what I mean. But once it manifests as an individual, this becomes so much of an individual, you cannot even figure that it's connected. That's why all the spiritual process, otherwise it wouldn't be needed. Suppose your life was happening in such a way that constantly it reminds you that it's connected with everything, there was no need for any teaching or any practice. That is where he is. He doesn't need any teaching or practice. So wherever people observed life, wherever people paid attention to life, wherever people experienced life the way it is, there snake was, and fortunately it was right across the planet. Mesopotamia, full of snakes. The most ancient cultures, for example, the recent excavations in Turkey show snake worship 12,000 years ago. 12,000 years ago, this is all they have found. There could be much more. This is because somebody carved it on the stone. But we know very well, both from this country and everywhere else, even today, in many churches in South America and in Scandinavian countries, even today, they handle live snakes. So largely people handle live snakes. Only when they became afraid, fearful of the snake, they started making the snake, stone ones or metal ones or whatever. Even today there are cultures all over which are handling live snakes. So 12,000 years ago, there is a carved out snake in the form of a worshipful deity, means the worship goes way beyond that. It is not about worship, it is about using it as a tool to know things which are not accessible to you. So, they have images of a man's head with snake on top of it. You know who the man is. So these images are not in one place, these images are right across the planet, because the 5 disciples or the 4 went all over the planet. The 3 focused their attention on this part of the world. One stayed with him, one came down to the Himalayan region in India, and another one came down south. But the rest went across the planet, and wherever they went, they made images of Shiva with snake. So they made images of a man with a snake on top of him. Wherever they went, they made sure they paid their gratitude to him. So this is not in any one place. I want you to understand the difference. Wherever people try to perceive, not just believe, in all those cultures, snake was the symbolism of snake always there. Not only the symbolism of snake, the tool, snake as a tool was used. It is only after perception was pushed to the back seat, belief was propagated. You can make any fool believe whatever you want, but to perceive, it takes competence and capability and attention. This is a tragic transition that the world made in the last 2000 years. From perception to belief system, the snake has been seen as a tool for perception. Another dimension of the snake has been the healing. I think even today, the medical council still uses 2 snakes as a symbolism, because snake and healing were so directly connected across the planet in every culture. Intertwining snakes with 3.5 coils was seen as the symbol of healing. Any number of references, I don't want to go into all this, but in India, it's very much seen that way. The Mayan culture very much saw snake as a healing tool. Even in the Bible, Mark spoke about how if you find the right kind of snake, he's talking like it's a rarity because no cobras where Mark was. He said, if you find the right kind of snake and drink the blood of this snake from the left side of its broad body, you will have such healing powers, whatever you touch will heal. Like this, there are many stories. The Chinese firmly established the white snake, and the legend of the white snake has even entered Broadway today, all kinds of plays, and it's taken on various forms. And the Southeast Asian countries, particularly starting from Cambodia and Vietnam, the Nagas that Mahabharata talks about, Nagas in Cambodia, but well before that, a Brahmin from India went to Cambodia, where the Naga kingdom was. These are people who are, in essence, they are like snakes, but they're human beings. As a part of their system, they always kill the male child when they are born. They always kill the male child and kept only the females. So Naga kingdoms were full of women, no men, only one man was spared. In a generation, only one man was spared because they evolved this system. Because as I earlier said, the life energy is so united in a snake with each other, they evolved a system that if one woman is impregnated, the whole generation got impregnated. Because they evolved the system, they killed the male child and kept only one male per generation. So, when you go to a land like that, when there is only one male and maybe thousands or hundreds of thousands of women, they are everything. They are the warriors, they're doing all the jobs. So when Kundalini went, he fought with the Naga princess. When she lost the battle, he said, "You either marry me or I'll take away your head." She took the better option, she married him. So even today, the Cambodian people are seen as progeny of this couple, this Kundalini and the Naga princess. From then on, this man took the Indian culture to Cambodia, and many things followed later on, and you see a whole lot of Shiva temples and snake temples all across Cambodia. Still many of them well preserved. Those which are not preserved are in a very fabulous state of ruin. When I say fabulous state of ruin, because huge trees, those roots of the trees are holding the temples together. They would have collapsed otherwise. Fabulous means incredible piece of engineering. Angkor Thom is the largest religious building on the planet. It covers a few acres, and in terms of intricacy of design and engineering, there is no match for it anywhere on the planet. So this whole culture evolved out of this, between this Naga princess and this Indian man, and then a whole culture evolved out of that. Like this, there are any number. And people around me know that in spite of all efforts, when I found that I was sinking, my systems were failing and body was just beginning to go down, a certain intervention from the snake suddenly revived me and put me back on track, just like that, unasked. They visited me and things changed dramatically. Everything changed so dramatically. And since then, except for my hair, I'm just getting younger. I always, right from somewhere from my youth, I always thought I will never die old, I'll die young. I even thought, if you don't die, maybe you'll end up being old. Maybe I have to just crash my motorcycle or something to die young. No, I have found other ways to die young, more sensible ways.